So, if you don't know, Halo Infinite supposedly has been having trouble this past year internally at the studio, and there is another alarming thing that happened over this weekend. Another key player at 343 Industries has left, as well as, Tim Longo, which left a couple months ago. And people are, or were, at least freaking out there for a little bit. Well, Unishek, community manager at 343, made an official post about this, so I'm going to read what he said, and then I'm going to share my thoughts and some also other concerning news that may be related to all this and maybe explain what is happening. This video is supported by Audible. Snag yourself a free Halo audiobook right down in the description below. Hey y'all, I just wanted to jump in and clarify what Tim and Mary's roles were at the studio because there seems to be quite a bit of confusion here. Before that happens though, I'd like to reassure everyone that the entire Halo Infinite team is rallying behind the game and is working hard to make sure we can execute on its vision. Tim's role as creative director was to help creative decisions around the design and the direction of the game, whether it was campaign, multiplayer, etc. Mary's role as executive producer, then lead producer on campaign, was to help drive the game to its completion for our holiday 2020 release date, and with the latter specifically focusing on campaign deliverables. Unfortunately, the thread's title saying he was to replace with Mary Olson and she also left is far from accurate. It implies that Mary took over creative control of the entire game, didn't like what she saw, and then decided to leave. If that's what actually happened, I could totally understand getting worried, but that isn't the case, as she was a lead producer and not a new creative director. Producers at our studio support designers, engineers, artists, etc. by helping each of them keep track and hit deliverables. They also ensure that the people they support are not overwhelmed with too much work, and they have all the tools and information needed to hit their deadlines. To put it simply, producers are the ones tasked with making sure the studio is always moving forward. Even our community team has a producer to ensure we're tracking our deliverables, such as blogs, social media posts, and whatever pops up in between. Since Tim and Mary were friends of mine, I'm sad to see I don't get to see them as often, but I'm happy to see both of them doing well. Mary joining Josh Holmes at Midwinter is nothing short of exciting news for me because I'm eager to give Scavengers another go soon. I played it at E3 and thoroughly enjoyed it, and funny enough, I actually just bumped into Tim the other night at the theater for opening night of The Joker. Too long didn't read. Title is super misleading. There is no creative dilemma inside the studio and there's no writing on the walls. Apologies for the long write-up, but I hope it helps clarify. So basically, Mary and Tim, two managers, two leaders at 343, decided to go leave and work on a game named Scavengers, which by the way, Josh Holmes was already working on, which was another 343 guy that had left quite a while ago to work on this game. Which by the way, this is all very interesting. That's 3 employees that have basically quit working on Halo to go work on this indie game. Now, I'm gonna explain soon why you probably shouldn't panic by this, but here's something jarring first. In 2018, Mary Olson actually had an employee spotlight interview on their site 343industries.com, which is 343's official career page. She explains in the article that for the 3 years that she's worked at 343, that her responsibility for a large part of Halo Infinite is how they achieve the creative vision of the game. I found her Twitter, but there's no updates, no replies, nothing talking about specifically why she left. That is a huge mystery. And if you're curious as to if that's actually her Twitter, I checked, she's followed by a lot of public 343 heads, and they don't follow everyone, like Bonnie Ross or Sketch and David Ellis. This looks like the official account, and there seems to be nothing with her talking about why she left and her decision, no, departing message, which we got one with Tim Longo, but not Mary Olson, at least not yet. And this news is it's brand news, and the only reason it's out is because people found her LinkedIn. So this is probably before they had enough time to plan a message. By the time you're watching this, it's probably already out. But as I researched more into this, I found that this may be much larger than just 343. Just a few days ago, on October 10th, Mike Ybarra, probably mispronounced his name, is a top executive who's been around for 20 years now, is now leaving Xbox and Microsoft looking for his, quote, next adventure. Sound familiar? Of course, this could all just be a coincidence, but there's a lot of higher-up, manager-like leadership roles at 343 and Xbox that are randomly quitting to pursue their own goals. And this next part is complete speculation, has led me to think that maybe some of these people are being fired or demoted. As what was very possible with Tim Longo, it looked like he had actually been demoted and had quit because of that about 2 weeks after this supposed demotion. I'm just an outsider, I'm making speculations, so take this all with a grain of salt, but rarely with these studios or corporations are they completely honest as to what actually happened. They usually save face by saying someone simply left the company, or we hear about CEOs stepping down or top executives instead of being fired after like an incident, right? And it probably makes sense because it makes the company look bad too, so they just say, well, this person wanted to pursue their own things when in reality, they were totally fired. Another very likely possibility is the nature of the video game industry being too taxing and demanding on individuals. Now, Mary Olson would have had a manager role, but that doesn't mean that she wouldn't have been maybe potentially overwhelmed by the complexity and the very large workload needed to manage an entire campaign team and deliver on a AAA game. One game that certainly Microsoft and 343 are banking on a lot and are really expecting them to fulfill their tight deadlines. And my last theory is that she just simply wanted to leave and to work on a game that she was passionate about, which is totally admirable, totally okay. I'm just curious as to why they're always so secretive about these shifts in employment. And then they turn around and get angry about us speculating and having theories when they give us nothing. But if you're worried about these leadership and producer roles impacting the quality of Halo Infinite, I really don't think it's that much of a concern. Because like Unishek implied or said, don't be worried, and I would say for a few reasons. Number one, 343 is a AAA studio working on a solid experience for one of the world's largest video game franchises, in which most of the development time has been finished. 4 out of 5 years is under their belt now. And number two, they can easily find replacements. There are many people that want to work on Halo Infinite. And 3, Halo 4 and Halo 5 didn't do great amongst fans, so honestly, maybe we do need a good leadership shakeup. I looked at the careers page on their official site, and there doesn't seem to be much need for production or art. Although some of these roles look important, I'm sure it's not super necessary that they find them right away. And honestly, I don't think it's impacting the development of Halo Infinite. Although I am a little bit confused as to why there isn't an open position for this production role. Maybe they just haven't updated it yet. Although I am pretty sure that there's a law that requires employers to still give the public a chance to avoid nepotism. But taking a breather from all that, on Waypoint we have some very awesome news. It was announced that the most recent Halo Reach flight for MCC on Xbox One has been concluded, which means that it's just that much closer to release. I mean, I really sense we are getting very close. And they're now analyzing the data that they've collected from the most previous flight, which was from Invasion, having the main goal of validating multiplayer networks to create flow during gameplay, basically making sure that the internet and network is stable amongst players, and they tested as many different game types during the flighting with as many different lobby sizes as possible. So this is freaking great news. As for the launch on PC and Xbox, they're working on the data from the Xbox flight, so they're basically just putting the cherry on top. And while they're doing that, they're preparing one last, I think, multiplayer flight for PC to make sure the matchmaking flow is there. And at the rate of these flights and how they've been coming out, basically, we are extremely close to 343 finally releasing Halo Reach on PC, and as I predicted earlier this month, I'm pretty sure that Halo Reach is going to be making its debut on Steam very soon as November, maybe mid-November, but regardless, I think we are talking about mere weeks away from the release date, and this is great because we've been waiting several months. I think about 7 or 8 months it would have been by time this game finally releases for PC, so I will share it to you guys as soon as they say anything when that release date is coming and when we can expect to play some Reach on PC. Snag yourself a free Halo audiobook before you head out. All you got to do is click that link down in the description, audibletrial.com/HaloFollower, and sign up. I think you can use your Amazon account. I'm not quite sure about that, but super easy sign up, and then basically you get a 30-day free trial and a free book. Certainly recommend a Halo book, of course, but you can get one of many hundreds of thousands of books. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate your time, and let me know what you're excited for with Halo in the future and what's coming up, and I will see you in the next one soon. Peace.